Happy Wednesday, people.
Look who it is.
Welcome to the Kris the Critic show.
That's right.
Where you actually have Kris on the show.
Yep.
Gina B, if you turn down
I'm trying to. You've asked me to
phones.
share, and now you're all shitty because I'm deaf to thing.
Just like people do, it's my fault that her phone came on doing this.
No,
She didn't
I
know
mean,
we were
you
coming on here.
asked.
She had no clue. Anyway, I'm happy to be back sitting by you.
Yeah, sure you are.
How have you been?
I've been good. Just usual work, bullshit. What have you been up to is the better question.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But for those who aren't here, I have not been here for a while.
He is not.
I've been advised not to.
By his parole officer. No, I'm just
By my
kidding.
parole officer. Shameless plug. I'm running for alderman. If any of you live in the 5th Ward in Chicago, that would be South Shore, Woodlawn, Hyde Park area.
Yeah.
Vote for Kris Levy. So that means I have to live a perfect life until then.
What does a vote for Kris Levy mean?
It means that you are going to vote for the marginalized in our community. You are going to vote for someone who's going to do something drastically different about crime and really not care about people's feelings, but care about the older ladies, the women, and the children walking in the streets of Chicago who can't even pump gas for fear of being assaulted.
They'll be carjacked.
Exactly. It's a bad thing out here.
I'm telling you, it's scary.
Literally, I was working out yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I see all these police cars. 35th and King Drive for those in Chicago. And I see the police inside. I see the tape outside. I was like, oh, man, it was shooting. At least it was a yellow tape. So I said, maybe nobody was shot. So I finished the workout.
Is that what that means? Yellow tape? As opposed
Red tape.
Red tape
death.
mean dead.
Exactly.
Oh, that was over by. Oh, that was by. Yes, that was.
So I will
yes.
show you the photo.
That's by.
Someone actually shot through the window of the health club. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but trust me, Gina B will verify it.
I will, because Lee was there right before
Really?
that happened. Yeah, and he was actually there right after it happened. I was like, was everything crazy? He goes, no. It was
This is inside of the health club.
Oh shit!
I can't curse anymore due to this whole election
I
thing.
can.
Oh,
Hi, Tennille.
if you guys can zoom in, it's glass all over.
It's glass everywhere and tape.
Anyway, like I was saying, before we get started with the show, shameless plug again. For any of you who have friends in the South Shore, Woodlawn, or Hyde Park area, I am running for alderman of the 5th Ward, trying to change this little world we live on for the better before one day I cash out.
I'm happy somebody is, because I'll tell you what, it feels like everyone is just letting the inmates run the asylum. I personally have a carjack strategy that I employ.
I do too, and it's
Well, I know what it is for you.
But it's legal.
For me, it's a different thing.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like, okay.
Well, you drive a spaceship. You can just really press the button, and it'll take off and fly.
But the thing, though, is if you're, like, I keep my purse strapped to me in the car at all times so that nobody has anything to reach through.
Or if they do, they'll just drag you out the window down the street with it.
They can't really see it. And
they don't know about your MMA boxing.
They don't. Oh, well, fuck
Gina
somebody.
B was a boxer.
I carry a pool ball in a sock. So I can
But serious, it's bad out here.
It is. It's really scary.
It's
anyway.
really bad. Anyway, we won't waste time.
We
talking
got
about politics.
stuff.
We gotta do that one show.
Yeah, we can, but it's depressing. So let's talk about funnier things.
So if you see me, Gina B,
walking down the street,
say anything that maybe a person running for office shouldn't say. Just smack me right on air.
I'll give you the big smackdown.
Now, Gina B has the green light to use whatever language she can, but I will only use nice words.
He has to keep it pristine.
All right.
Okay.
So before we get into this, we're talking about the pros and cons of marriage. Mm-hmm. But let's just talk about, before we delve into that, the state of relationships right now. It's a lot going on.
A lot of crazy shit going on in the news.
NBA coaches.
Yeah.
Messing around on their girlfriends. That's not a good thing. People are very, we just heard our producer Kingdom give a little sigh. People are very opinionated on that.
They are.
Now,
a lot of people.
I have no opinion on it, but we'll talk about it.
People should not be cheating on their significant others. That is
Should
the
never
official
happen.
Christopher Levy
They should go to hell.
answer. Go straight to hell. But okay, so which one do you want to unpack first?
Okay, because we'll talk about this. We'll talk about Adam Levine.
Okay, yeah.
Because I just heard about that.
Yeah. That's been going on for a couple days.
Is it?
I've been
campaigning. Has he been getting a lot of smoke?
Yeah. He's been getting and a lot of people coming out of the woodwork on him too. Well, let's just start with that one since we brought it up.
Okay.
So Adam Levine, who
what
was
did
the
he do?
lead singer of Maroon 5 and one of the coaches on The Voice, apparently slid into somebody's text messages or DMs.
Multiple people, right?
Yeah, like he's like, I don't know how he has that kind of time with the amount of children and the wife that he has. But apparently
He's a rock star.
there was a woman, her name was Summer Stroh, I believe, and she revealed text message exchanges where he actually said, if my baby that his wife is pregnant with is a boy, I want to name it Summer. Are you okay with that?
That's not a good look.
Well, he's taking a page from Steven Seagal's book. Do you recall this?
No. Did he
So years ago, Steven Seagal was hooking up with the nanny when he was married to Kelly LeBrock.
Okay.
And they named the baby after the nanny that he was hooking up with. And then he ended up leaving Kelly LeBrock, married the nanny, and had more kids with her.
That usually doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
That usually doesn't.
He made the number
Let me
2
ask
the
you
number
this.
1.
What?
I'm sure he cheated on her, though. Because
Cheating is bad. But let me ask you this. Why would someone do that? To keep the person they're cheating with, like make them feel special or happy? I don't even know why somebody would even do that.
I think it's just to see how audacious they can be.
So,
Like, how far can I take this without getting caught?
let me jump right to it. Is Adam Levine,
Idiots.
not that I want anyone to catch any smoke, because Chris Levy's far from perfect. All right, let's just get that out there. Is he catching as much smoke as the coach from Boston?
I don't think anybody had expectations of Adam Levine because apparently, from what's been coming out in the press, Adam Levine has had a long history of reaching out.
I'm gonna eat some.
Of being a little bit aggressive with
So you
his
think it's
exploits.
expected?
Well, I don't think anybody cares as much. I think the reason why. Okay, so let's juxtapose this with the Nia Long thing. Okay, so the thing is that everyone was saying, how is he going to cheat on Nia Long?
Right.
Right? Like, that was the thing for this. And
why would they say that?
my point, yeah, I guess so. But I'm like, have you seen everybody who gets cheated on? Like, there's no, if a man's going to cheat, he's going to cheat. Like, it's not, it doesn't have anything to do really with who you are. It has more to do with who they are.
Right.
So.
And
then Chantel says she has a theory that men love drama. That's why they do shit like that.
Hey, Chantel.
How you doing, girl?
Chantel is normal. I thought Let me ask. Chantel says,
I think you meant shit, Chantel.
I have a theory that men love drama. That's why they do stuff like that. Now, if that's true, do you believe that?
I think that they just like to be audacious and see like how far they can go.
There's some truth to that.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. This woman who made this public.
Adam Levine.
Or whoever he was messing around with.
Yeah. The woman that she was.
Did she spill the beans or the press?
She spilled the beans.
Okay, why did she do that?
Because, to be honest with you, I can't speak to her rationale for doing it, but I guess she just thought that it was, a good thing for people to know.
Do you think she likes drama?
You know what I think? I think that she would rather that kind of shit stop.
See how I did that?
I mean, listen, I'm not here to debate who likes drama more. Like, I'm not
like
here
drama.
to juxtapose because, we turned this other day, I posted something about this and someone tried to make this into an I'm bashing men thing. And my whole point is.
Sounded a little misandristic.
What word are you using?
Misandrist.
Misogynist is hating
misandrist.
Men. Okay, so you're talking about hating men? No, it has.
Y'all didn't know I had that in my arsenal, did you?
I'm not even sure that's a real word, but whatever. So
it might not be, but I'm gonna look it up while you talk.
My point is that it's not. It was a fact thing. It was like it is what it is. It's not. It wasn't a value judgment. It was just like this is what it was. It was a man who was. Yes. Okay. Misandrist.
Well, just let people know what that is, Gina B.
A person who dislikes, despises, or is strongly prejudiced against men.
And what is that word?
Misandrist.
It's a thing.
It's a thing, but that wasn't what I was employing. So okay. I am not a misandrist.
Well, you asked me, did it sound a little man-haterish?
It sounded a little.
A little bit. A little bit.
No, but my point is, my post was exactly, people are funny. Everyone's waiting to see the person that Nia Long's fiance was cheating with to see if it was worth it. And then my next comment was, y'all see the new Queen of England, right? Like, Prince Charles cheated on Princess Diana with that hag that is now the new Queen of England.
Well,
who was a hag, by the way, 30 years before.
Speaking of, we're gonna get into that. Not that I'm a
So
fan
what does that have to do with anything?
of the new King of England. But
Finally got a job at 73. Go Charles.
There's a reason for that.
Uh-huh.
There's a reason for that.
Okay.
I don't think people marry people because of what they look like. She's been knowing him prior to even.
He liked her because she's probably more on par with him. She looked like She looked like she could belong in that inbred family of his.
I didn't say that. Oh,
the Queen was a fantastic cousin to her husband.
That.
Anyway,
I didn't say that. But he
can't take me nowhere.
We'll come back because I want.
Yes, he knew her. I'm not debating that point.
Back. We'll come back to them.
I'm not debating that point.
But he knew her even before he knew Princess Di.
I don't care who knew whom.
It's just that his family didn't think that she was.
Right, because they're like, you ain't marrying that hag.
They wanted him to have a nice little,
a cute,
innocent,
an attractive wife.
Well, no, untouched.
They're like, please break up this gene pool, brother,
it was untouched. The woman he's with now had a little more experience for young Prince. Just throwing that out.
I mean,
but back to
I can't imagine she was hot in the streets. But whatever. Anyway,
E.A. Is that how you say his name?
I don't know.
Udoka?
Yeah, something.
I usually don't even talk about current events on the Kris the Critic show. I feel like it dates my
the show.
However, this has been juicy enough, and I've been gone long enough. I got to.
Yeah.
So, we do cheer people for our celebrity couples that we like.
Yeah, we do.
I feel Will and Jada collectively has let us all down a little bit. But we've seen it.
Did we have expectations?
Well, you know what? It's like they let a little bit of air out of the tire at the time.
The
rumors of this.
They drive it on the rim.
Is he this
right
way?
now.
Are they this way? So you weren't that surprised. But this, I gotta admit, I root on couples too, celebrity couples that share our hue.
Okay, let me just start by saying, I had no idea who Nia Long was engaged to prior to this. I did not know.
I did.
Like at all. You did because you probably follow that world more than I do. I don't really follow basketball.
And I'm a Nia Long fan.
And you're a Nia Long fan.
I was not happy
But what
with
did
him.
you tell me the other day? You know what you told me? We were having this conversation.
About when I've seen Nia Long? When I was an extra in a movie.
Yes.
Her face is gorgeous.
Right.
I don't know if I can mention what her cheeks are shaped like, given that I'm running for office.
I mean, you have eyes. And an ability to interpret.
I alluded maybe he liked the more full-figured, fuller, curvier woman. Curvy women are in.
Okay.
She's less curvy in certain areas.
Okay.
But she's really cute and really nice.
Okay.
And I was upset with him. Because I felt we mess up enough. Men folk mess up enough on our own.
And so here's my
You don't have to publicly mess it up for us, bro.
I'm gonna take it a little further because I don't think he'd be getting I don't know that we have confirmation on who.
Oh, he messed around with the wrong person.
That's exactly.
That's what he did.
He messed around with somebody's.
I've never heard of it.
Somebody's boo.
Somebody's very high up white.
And a white person.
Exactly.
Because he would not have got suspended for hooking up with a sister.
Absolutely.
Like everybody's pulling the picture of some sister. I'm like, that wasn't who he was fucking around with. Because if nobody cares.
Was I the only one doing a search on all Boston Celtic female staffers?
Apparently not, because that's how that picture of the sister got.
There's only like 5 of them.
Right.
The one they were showing initially is a senior staffer. She's the only one. Everybody thought it was her.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't. She's like, look,
I thought it was
keep my name out your mouth here.
There was one very curvaceous sister. I was like, it's got to be her.
This is what cocktail.
Or a lot of fellas did put their money on the other side.
On the Caucasian. Yeah.
But one thing
I'm telling you,
and the only
he
reason
would not have gotten in that trouble.
One thing that I heard that's true that I thought was unfair. I thought he was wrong and whatever punished. But usually when something like that happens, you have an HR background. Let me ask you.
Not really, but okay.
But wouldn't they just fire the person? If you're going to keep the person, do you make this public thing about them, suspend them, and just to keep them there? That's sort of, it felt wrong. It felt like he was being, in that vein, it felt like his career was being done wrong.
Well, I feel like he was being extorted in a way.
Probably.
And I think he knew that it was coming down the pipe, I think, before we found out. I don't think when we found out.
Let's call it what it is, NBA, right?
Yeah.
How many coaches and players do you think possibly
So
have
many.
extramarital.
I mean, the NBA.
Well, it wasn't even marital.
The NBA is a playground.
It was his girlfriend.
Yeah, it's a playground for people getting extra.
I don't know if I've seen that much emotion over somebody's girlfriend ever.
Right.
Of 7 years.
Exactly.
Which I'm looking at.
I mean, if you look at like.
I got 3 daughters.
I mean, look at the
Nobody
players.
better ever be engaged 7 years. I'm talking about them, my own children.
But,
If they come to me and say, "Hey, Dad," I said, "Was money the problem?" No, we got plenty. You got a kid with him. You're living with him. Do you want to marry him? Well, you're engaged. It seems like you do. Why would you wait 7 years? So at this point, I care a little bit less.
one of the greatest couples of all time is Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, right? Everyone's like talks about them,
Were
and
they
never got.
engaged?
Yeah, they've been engaged for 35 years,
Yeah, that's sort of.
and they've never got married, and they have children, at least a child, I think. You know, I don't know that it's an indictment on the relationship if you stay engaged for longer. Now, this, of course, is coming from me, who has been engaged for 2 years.
I don't know what to ask. Oh, but you ain't at 7 yet.
Oh no, we're not yet at 7.
We'll talk about you at year 4.
Yeah, talk to me in a couple years, and then we'll see what happens.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yep.
And this wasn't brought up as much. I think most of us agree that, at least we assume that there was something in his contract that he violated, some sort of morals clause.
Probably, but
I don't know. Everybody says that, but I haven't seen it. So let's assume it was, right? Right. Yeah, fraternization or something like that. But let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If it was consensual.
this is my point. Like, you've never seen anything like this.
I'm not trying to absolve him from anything. But when I was a kid, if I was fighting little Johnny and we both were fighting, 2 people got in trouble.
Well, okay, I saw a post about this,
Just
and
one.
I'm going to quote a person who wrote this interesting post. He's an attorney, okay?
What did this attorney say?
And so he's
You're
a
so
partner, and he does this kind of work. And I think we all know who he is, but let me just...
No, I don't.
Well, we're about to in a minute. Hold on. I'm going to find it for you on Facebook.
Gina B's doing some research on the
I'm
attorney.
doing research. Okay.
For anyone, shout out to Strozer,
Oh, it's
8th
Todd.
Ward, St. Felicitas Falcon in the
Todd?
building.
How you was doing?
Best grade school ever.
Yeah. I have to scroll down
Okay, wait a
pretty
minute.
deep in these posts.
But we
but-
got a police person, Gigi Hinton, common law in California, may make them legally married. I'm not sure.
No, it depends on, common law could, but it depends on what state, under which jurisdiction.
Look at this super smart Kris the Critic audience. Shout out to Marcus Simpson. They tried to stop me, Marcus. Anybody who's jumping in, shameless plug. I'm running for alderman, 5th Ward, Chicago. Chris Lee.
Okay,
what's
so
this
here
up?
we go. Here's the post that I'm going to read to you. It's long, but
go ahead.
Okay, so this is a post by Alan King. Do we know Alan King, one of the chosen few DJs?
Oh, okay, again.
Okay, so Alan's an attorney by day, DJ by night. So he says, so dig it on this Boston Celtics thing. As someone who's been conducting workplace investigations, including sexual harassment investigations, professionally for more than 30 years and who watched the team's press. Well, it's long, so I'm trying to kind of... here are a few observations. For clarity, I was not involved in this investigation. Just like a lawyer. I was not involved.
Right.
Number one, this keeps being described as a consensual relationship between the coach and an unidentified woman. I can almost guarantee you that the woman involved does not agree that it was consensual, or at least that his conduct continued after a point that she no longer considered the activity consensual, because if everything was completely consensual, A, you and I probably wouldn't know anything about this. B, they probably wouldn't have hired an outside law firm to conduct a months-long investigation. And C, the discipline likely would have been much less than a season-long suspension and potential firing. This more than likely came to light because she complained about it. That's the reason the team announced today that no other person is facing any potential disciplinary action.
Okay, let me respond.
That was point one.
Let me respond to Attorney King's points. And I'm no attorney, people. But I call on that, number one. Because
Why?
you and I both have come to the conclusion he messed around with the wrong person. It was announced as consensual. In this day and age, no one gives a man a pass, especially a brother, and says that it's consensual out the gate if it really wasn't. And then they threw in later, oh, there was some unwanted comments after the consensual affair. Wait,
Let me get to point two.
Wait, let's talk about point one.
Point two addresses
if it was,
point one.
If it was consensual, And then, okay, he's being punished for these unwanted comments. My point is, it was consensual.
Okay, let me get to point 2. That'll explain some of this. Just hold your horses, sir.
Right.
Point 2, they are probably calling it consensual now because the investigators probably reached a conclusion in their confidential report to the team that the relationship was consensual. Point 3, the woman involved is likely not happy with the conclusion that it was consensual. And number 4, we'll probably never know whether the woman involved is unhappy about it because there will probably be a settlement that includes confidentiality if that hasn't happened already.
No, it won't be. Because, number one...
And then he says speculation is dangerous.
one said the woman told. It was her husband who told. He was mad. It was an angry, very wealthy, well high up white man who will at home go nuts, but doesn't want to publicly say, "Oh, my wife voluntarily gave this brother some," because there were allegedly more than one woman, and 2, who shields a brother like that? Who covers up a brother if he's done wrong, making that much money? I've never seen it happen.
All I'm telling you is Alan has been doing this for a long time.
I get it.
And that is the reason why he made these points.
I just felt that, as brilliant as he may be, he read the same thing I read.
And Todd Stroger, even if it's consensual, it breaks the office rules, and I agree with Alan.
Oh, I agree with what Todd says.
Yeah.
He should be punished. But my point is, and I would like for...
it's nothing
Cook
new,
County
right?
Board, former Cook County Board president to answer this. If it was at some point consensual, at that point, they were both wrong. That's all I'm saying.
Well, at minimum.
If it was consensual, at that point, they were both wrong.
At minimum, yes. At
here's
very minimum, yes.
The reason they won't mention that woman's name is because that man doesn't want to be embarrassed. He wanted her to stop messing around with the big, tall brother.
The brother's riding roughshod over his woman.
All day, and allegedly it was 2 of them. He slept with the wrong woman. Well, they're not going to punish her, but if it would listen to me. But anyway, brother was stupid for doing it. I wouldn't have done it. Back to today's topic. So.
Do we have any other posts, any other comments?
Brian Courtney Wilson, Grammy-nominated Brian Courtney Wilson is on here. Gospel singer extraordinaire.
Oh, hey. I was not involved.
Thank
Thank you, Brian, because we didn't think you were. But we're glad that you.
Brian Courtney Wilson would never be in front. Exactly. Shameless plug. Marcus Simpson, thank you for the support. Chris Levy, Fifth Ward Alderman.
Yeah.
If you're in the South Shore, Hyde Park, Woodlawn area, you want to take a bite out of crime, vote for Chris Lee.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
100%.
now, show of hands, everybody. This show is the pros and cons of marriage. Now that we've talked about everything but the pros and cons of marriage.
That's okay. We can deviate.
Show of hands, who's pro-marriage? Because a lot of people not. There's a lot of people not.
Pro-marriage.
Maybe I should ask who's anti-marriage or who has one eyebrow up at marriage.
No, I don't.
A lot of people do because of past failed relationships.
I have an eyebrow up at the wrong marriage. Like, I think...
Well, who does it? Who has
Well, some people don't understand that they're not
There's
in
a
the right
difference.
scenario.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, but back to, some people are saying that Nia Long was not married because she knew that it was some bullshit.
I, as a Fifth Ward aldermanic candidate, will never bash one of my favorite celebrities, Nia Long. Beautiful woman. However,
no one is debating that, but that doesn't mean that
question-
she can't know that she's in a relationship where which should not result in marriage.
oh, she was also in a relationship with, not that this matters, Chris Webber,
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that.
Martin,
Now, okay.
Chris Tucker.
None of those should have been.
But I'm
marriage
just
contenders.
saying.
None.
I'm just saying. Hey, wait a minute.
Have
We
you been
just
to
got
church and met
validation
people?
that Chris Tucker's a Christian.
I don't know, like, I love
Nothing
how-
worked.
Wait, hold up.
Where's the other kids?
Is a Christian.
She has
Let's
two.
start.
She has 2 kids, and
Yeah.
again, nothing's wrong with 2
Masai
kids.
Dorsey was her first baby daddy, and then
Who was that?
his name was Masai Dorsey, I believe.
Was she married to him? I'm wondering why we tripping
see.
so hard, given the facts.
I mean, here's the deal.
I'm just saying. I was mad too because I like Nia Long, but I think maybe I like her because of the role she played opposite Ice Cube.
Probably.
But she was messing around with Ice Cube, and he was dating that crazy chick. It happened. Just saying. But let's think of some. I went ahead and looked up some of the reasons people don't want to get married.
They were. She was engaged to her first baby daddy and not married to him either.
Interesting. Girlfriends don't get death benefits, but some of the reasons.
What is one of the best reasons to get married, to be honest with you?
Absolutely. I've said it on this show many a time. There's a value, spiritual connection I think somebody should have. There's a physical piece that is important, usually more upfront. And then there's a financial piece. They're all equally, I think, important.
Yeah. There. I mean, you have to be with a good partner. And if you don't think you're with a good partner, like there are a lot of people that I know who have been with people forever and they just haven't gotten married because it's just. I had a friend tell me once, she'd been with a guy for a long time, they had kids, and it was a timing relationship for her.
What?
So she was getting to an age where she needed to either shit or get off the pot and have kids.
Oh, yeah.
They had kids, but she never married him because she always said the relationship wasn't good enough.
She's thank you for
to
being
get
that
married.
donor for me.
I mean,
I needed these tall, athletic, smart children. And your paycheck.
I mean, they're
Strategy. They're way
I don't know
smarter
if you
than
got a
us.
paycheck,
fellas.
but
They're
whatever.
way smarter than us, guys.
I don't know if you had but he had sperm. But
We can confirm.
I got one at least. But he had swimmers. But no, but she's just point blank. She was like, the relationship wasn't good enough for me to get married. And so they've been together forever, and it's just not even on the table.
Wow. Here are some of the reasons. And I looked these up. I didn't take a poll like I normally do. I've been going a while.
Yeah.
And you decide what you want to focus on. I'll read a few of these. You limit your level of freedom. These are reasons people don't want to get married these days.
Right.
No other partners allowed.
Okay.
Gotta have multiple lovers. You might get trapped in an unhappy marriage. It's bad for one party in case of a divorce. Dependence
I don't
on
think
your
it's
partner.
good for anybody in case of a divorce.
Divorce rates are high. Many people are naive about the concept of marriage. Divorce laws often favor women. You have to get along with the family of your spouse.
Maybe.
Marriage is not a guarantee that your partner stays with you.
It is not.
Because I am pro-marriage, and I can go on. These sound like some good reasons.
They sound like good reasons, but I'll tell you what they are. They're reasons that assume
Exactly.
that
Assume the worst.
it's not going to work out.
Exactly. And I think if you go into a new job with that attitude, it won't work.
Right.
If you
It
go
will
into a
not.
boyfriend-girlfriend relationship,
Anything.
it won't work.
It won't work.
I
Because it's a defeatist attitude.
I think those of us who are happily in the institution, and I say that, I know my wife loves me. She may not like me all the time.
There's a difference.
She loves me. We know that it's work.
A lot of work.
But we knew that going into it. And I think a lot of men and women go into these things like, what can I get out of it? What's in it for me? Is it going to make my life better versus what am I going to put into it to make our lives better?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that's huge. And I think our society has just become very selfish and self-centered. I think we watch these shows and, we see these men making this money and they got 5 women they choosing from. And if it doesn't work, they just switch.
Yeah, you have to have a really kind of collective viewpoint about it. Like, it's for the good of us both, or
Right.
it's got to be a no matter what situation. Levi, please tell us why you're pro-marriage.
Great question, Brian Courtney Wilson. I, for one, and I know a lot of people.
He likes to be taken care of.
No. I don't believe that at all. I think people take care of each other. I do think people were not meant to be alone, right? And I believe in building with someone, and I just believe that there's more joy in that. And I think you can find people who've been married, anyone who's been married 50 years, it's the joy of being with that person, the memories they have. I've never seen anyone married for 50 years that has said, well, I married him because he was the most handsome. Well, I married him because he had the most money. Well, I married her and stayed married 50 years because she had a big butt. It just doesn't happen.
Well, it transcends that. So what ends up happening is you might have been attracted to that person because they had a big ass or what have you. But over time, and I can even see it over the course of it's like there are people that I dated, because he was fine, but then like later, it's like, I mean, real.
Say it again, Marcus Simpson. He
Yeah.
said marriage has to be 100, 100. Exactly.
Right.
If
But
you are not a person who loves giving, then don't get married.
Then don't. Oh my God.
I mean, I like my
don't
little
have to say his
family.
middle
I just
name.
couldn't make
Okay.
this family. I'm gonna have a nice wife by myself. And I asked these brothers who out here, and I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off.
You're not alone.
I asked these brothers who say, "Oh man, I can't settle down with one." I always ask them. First off, they front, right? Nope. I'm a retired 8th degree Jedi Knight player. They are not doing that much. So I'm like, brother, what are you doing the other 23 hours and 57 minutes of the
Right,
day
because you know.
when you ain't getting none?
Because that's pretty much as long as that. But we all know brothers, though. But see, here's the thing: the very men who are holding out, right? They will give all their best lives, best years to the streets.
Oh, absolutely.
And then when it comes time to
They'll be in a
find
wheelchair
somebody
saying,
who
"I
recognizes
think I'm
the
ready-
signs of a stroke,
I think I'm ready to settle
like what
down."
I posted, right? And then women, you have to be careful because you don't want to get turned into either a purse or a nurse.
Right. I think when a person, and I'm still on Brian Courtney Wilson's question. I think when you find somebody where you are genuinely happy, just the friendship, for me, I can't speak for everybody. I'm just as happy with the friendship and watching TV as I am going out or, being intimate, just being there. And I think when you have somebody like that, it makes your life better.
It does.
But
It makes it so much better.
But you have to let go of pride. You got to let go of ego. And so many people don't make it because they don't want to win. They want to be right.
And they also have there's too much FOMO going on.
What was that?
FOMO, fear of missing out. Like,
Don't you all love Gina B?
you're not missing anything, right? Like,
Purse
so it's
or nurse?
that's what I'm saying. It's a purse or a nurse. You don't want to be either. But no, but real talk, like but you've gotta, that party or, that broad who is at the bar trying to get with you.
I didn't say the word broad.
I did.
Chris
So,
Levy, Fifth Ward Alderman.
Gina B.
I would never use that word.
Gina B uses that word egregiously. So that chick at the bar, what are we using? The woman at the bar, that bird. Let's keep going with this. No, but I mean, you probably hooked up with someone who looks just like her, or you've probably. I mean, there's nothing new out here.
Right.
One of my friends, he's I think going through midlife crisis, but that's a whole different issue. He was this woman, I guess, approached him about, would you like an arrangement? And I'm like, well, first of all, what kind of arrangement is she? She's young. And so his thing is, I've still got it. And my thing is, you look like you have money. And so she just wants some of it. It's not because you're all that fly. Like, it isn't because, it's like.
I mean, you got to have something. But
But
I don't think, again, I'm not.
They're all 36, 37. There are dudes that are 46, 47 who still think they're missing out. Yes, they should figure it out, but 36, actually, 36, 37, that's when men are holding on to their last bastion of freedom before somebody apprehends the sperm.
If I could go back,
right?
I would have got married earlier.
Would you?
Absolutely. Because
You would have got married earlier, too?
I found.
Because you already lived it, so you knew what you were missing out on.
I had one child before I was married, so I was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute.
36, he's wrong. He's not wrong.
Don't want to do that again. But I like kids, I found out. I like them. And I think I would have wanted more.
You liked him in your 20s, though.
Yeah, I had more energy. I can't run around with them.
Yeah,
now.
but then you'd be stuck with them.
What?
Like, it's one thing to
I
be
only-
like,
I
okay,
only
I've done
re-
all this and I'm ready to have kids and I don't feel like I'm missing out on parties. But it's a totally different thing to be like, I'm 25 and I want to
I
be
did
out at
everything
the
by
club.
25.
I don't want to be babysitting.
Guys are
or
just
having
catching up
my
to
own
me at
baby.
50, where I was at 25.
Yeah, but the difference is you lived through those years without having entanglements or
I've had a gazillion
obligations.
First off,
obligations. let's
knowing
just
what
say
I
that.
know now, it is stressful dating, man or woman, dating more than one person. Because the older we get, the more we want from someone.
The more we need from someone.
I don't know if we needed one. It probably do. I don't know. You need anybody.
Did you hear me
want.
say purse or nurse? I meant that in earnest.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
But you get tired of that. But I think some people just
It's a lot.
they lie to themselves and tell them that they're okay with this constant running in circles.
I mean, it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. Like, there are a lot of people who don't want to give up. They feel like they're missing something.
Well, we all have I think a lot of society
You
has
think-
has a misconstrued view of themselves in the mirror. I think they all look in the mirror and say, "I'm the biggest, baddest, finest, laying it down the mostest
I'm the roughest
human
roughest,
around."
roughest. What?
And I think, the other side says, I'm the prettiest. My stuff is this. I'm the best. Anybody with a whole bunch of money, 6'5", lays it down, should just be oozing all over me. And I'm not going to settle. I don't even know why settle's a bad word. When I settled on a house, I was real happy.
Yeah.
Settle's a good word to me. Settle means I'm relaxed. I'm content. But it gets a bad word out here in relationships. Catherine Bowman said, you should date many people, but just not sexing many people. Catherine,
I mean, there's a balance
I
to
only
strike,
agree
right?
halfway with that because I think any man or woman who wants the other person, you need to give that person that time and that energy. So I would qualify that saying date multiple people, not at the same time. If you try one out, it doesn't work, move on.
I was the queen of the one and done date.
What do you mean?
Like, I would have one date and be like, we're done.
Really?
Oh, so many people.
But that's actually...
Which actually has worked really well.
It works well.
Right? Like, there are people, they would say something on the first date and I'd be like, and never again.
I tell women all the time, men like chasing them.
That's when I like to pull my credit card out and pay for half.
Well, that's a good... I know someone who will do that. And if the man doesn't grab it on the first date, there's a problem.
I would, listen, once I determined that there would be no dating, like once I determined that it was a one and done date, I would make sure to pay for my half of whatever we were doing because I don't want to hear all that. Well, she went out with me and spent my money and then decided she didn't want, I don't want to hear that. I will.
If there's anybody out here against marriage.
Yes, back to marriage.
I'm going to read off some advantages.
Yes.
And I
What
think
are the
these
advantages? We need to know this.
And some of these too can be looked at as for real or not real, right?
Right.
Increased level of security. I don't think you need marriage for that, but some people I guess do.
You don't, but it's nice to
It's socially accepted, which it is. But now, right now, everything's socially accepted. I could date a cow, and it would be socially acceptable in some places. I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying. Chris Levy does not believe in harming animals in any way, shape, or form.
better not be. Hard damn animals.
You can build wealth together. I think that is true.
I think it is.
I think that should be taken. People need to look into that. Think about it. I hear people complain about money so much. She just wants my money, or he don't have no money, or whatever the case. You would think that people would say, you know what? I can get through this life a little bit better.
If that is the case.
I can cut down to one cable bill.
Yeah.
One light bill, one electric bill.
Sometimes you still don't even take advantage. Like, my fiance and I don't really always take advantage of being a couple, like, with all the different shit we have. Like, we have separate accounts, whatever. But, yes, build wealth together.
Yeah. I think the support in a difficult situation in life is a good thing. That's hilarious. Who said that?
Your girl, Catherine Bomer.
Unless she's married to Prince. Sister wife. Wow, she's a Prince fan. Catherine Bomer, real quick, sidebar. Prince or Michael Jackson?
To be married to?
No. Who's the GOAT?
To have sex with?
Catherine Bomer, who's the GOAT? Prince or Michael Jackson? There's only one answer. And he wears one glove. Now, back to...
And it's not lace, is what you're trying to say?
He wears one glove.
I love me some Prince. I love me some Prince.
He's a distant second.
A distant second.
Whatever.
Should the accounts stay separate? I mean, I think so.
If you... Brian,
depends how old you are when you get married.
The accounts, I do think there should be. I know couples that do everything in one pot.
I don't get down like that.
I have a spending problem.
Yeah,
Mrs. Critic would never do that. We have a joint.
She is smart.
She takes my money and leaves me a little bit of it. And there you go. Um,
Wait, what did I just read on the screen just a second ago? Did someone say Kells? No. Go back to what you were.
Shout out Ronald Roan.
Okay.
That is
Ronald Roan is banned from this channel.
Ronald Roan is my Ronald Roan. Wait a minute, is my first cousin.
Okay, well,
Extremely brilliant.
manage your family because Kells
Extremely
should not be appearing.
Kells is a great musician. We're not speaking to his character.
Okay.
You don't know what Prince did up in that purple house. He had women.
Well, I'll
running
tell you
around.
where he wasn't.
He had
That's
women
prison.
just jumping in the lakes.
He
naked.
was not in prison, so let's start with that. And he wasn't fucking children.
We don't know what Prince was doing.
Yeah, we're pretty sure he wasn't fucking children.
Okay, because he had plenty of grown women who were ready
So
that he liked.
so-
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
this is not even. Okay,
Oh,
go
yeah.
ahead.
Anyway, what's happening, Ronnie? We were talking about the advantages. So,
Advantage.
again, back to the finances. In a lot of countries, states, there are tax advantages. to
There
being
are
American.
tax advantages in some states.
I don't think
yes.
people listen. I told you the business part is a big thing. We talked about support in difficult situations in life. We all know it now. This is a fairly mature audience. There will be difficult situations in all of our lives at some point. I think it's a good thing if you have somebody who you truly can count on with you.
Yeah, you do. You need somebody that's got your back for sure.
One thing I think that people don't look at, and I don't want to get bashed and people throw hate mail on me, but I do think, and there are exceptions, okay? I'm not saying one thing's better than the other. Chris Levy, 5th Ward Alderman in Chicago. But I do think if the parents are together and you care about your kids like we all do, I think you would try to make that work. Because I think the outcomes with, again, 2 good parents is better than one parent.
Do too.
And,
Because only those 2 parents are going to care as much as the other about those kids. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and you miss something. I don't care. I mean, there are people who do a great job raising kids by themselves through death or a divorce
By
or
themselves,
they just
yeah.
broke up or whatever the case. There are people who do a magnificent job, so I don't want to take away from that. I'm just saying it helps when
But
there
if
are
you
2
can
people
help it, yes. Because it's hard to, like, the step parenting is sometimes a thankless job.
Sure.
And it's a difficult position, and everyone's not really suited for it.
And think about how stressed you get with kids with 2 parents.
It's hard to love somebody else's kids.
You want to pull your hair out because you need time to yourself, and that will affect you. And I just think if we...
Okay, we need to address Brian Wilson.
Brian Courtney Wilson, let's go back to that.
Okay, so he says, if you don't trust each other to commingle the accounts while you get married. Okay, here is my feeling on that. If you get married older, and I mean older than
I'm forced to commingle.
30, right? Like when you each have stuff,
right?
We each have things, then I feel like in each situation there should be one CFO.
True.
Like I'm the CFO of my accounts.
Right.
So I know what's going on all the time.
Right.
I don't need anybody else up in my shit. Like,
but as CFO,
commingling.
everybody should be able to see what's where at all times.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I need to be aware.
Right.
But, like, in terms of who's controlling what on this side, that has always been me. It will continue to be me. I also don't want anything to do with what's on his side. I don't want to be bothered with his corporations. I don't want to be bothered with any of that. He needs to be the CFO over there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you all run independent business.
Yeah.
And
we each have property.
But I would tell everybody,
people.
and I'll tell you this too. I think any couple, we went through pre-marriage counseling, right? And you go through love,
Which
and
is a good
life
idea.
and bad times, and what if this happens, and what if that happens. But a big piece of that, people, is finances, right? And I jokingly say, when we went through it, my darling wife was like, wow, you make a little more than I thought you made, but you don't have as much saved. And then I said, I thought you made more.
You only found that out in marital counseling?
But this was a long time ago. But I said,
But I mean, how long have you been
But she had a lot saved. And I was like, maybe I should have gotten married sooner.
Because I could have taken advantage of the savings.
Same. But she since makes a boatload of money.
Yeah, she's just like blowing it. Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying you have to have a system. And our system was back then, we knew our little bills. And this is how much had to go
Right.
somewhere.
Right.
And then we sort of just did our own thing with the other one. I wonder, yeah. Especially like couples never try to commingle. At least we did. Cell phone bills. You're like, oh no, I don't need any of that coming back to haunt me.
Well, so that's no. It isn't even so much that. It's more so in our case. You know, I've got
5 phones.
I've got 3 phones on my cell phone bill. One of which is a business phone. One of which is a personal phone. One of which is my father's phone.
Oh, good.
Because I have him.
Oh, okay.
And then
good
he's
answer.
got corporate. He's got, I think his daughter's on his, I don't know. But, you know, things that I don't need to just be bothered
Cell
with.
phones were more of a problem when it wasn't like one amount fits all.
Yeah,
Cell
I'm
phone
not,
bills
like,
used to be
combing
ridiculous.
the bill.
Cell
but-
phone bills used to be ridiculous.
Oh,
Let's
it
just
used
put
to
it
be,
out
like,
here.
horrible.
Cell
Yeah.
phone bills. I didn't want to see anybody. So I didn't even want my cell phone.
Right, yeah. And if your biggest problem is yourself, anyway.
I will say this. We had a few minutes left, and I will tell people though, and this is something I heard that I think couples who are thinking about marriage, you should listen to other people who give you advice, but who are married.
Who are married.
It's not the lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point because you at least have to be.
Did y'all
you
get that?
At least,
Did they
yeah.
get that? I don't know if they heard.
But you know what I also think though.
I never hear people say that though. When they talk about this didn't work with this girl or this didn't work with this guy, no one ever says, "Oh man, you know he was a great friend," but they just go right to he wasn't doing this, she wasn't doing that.
I'm gonna take it a step further though than that.
Go ahead.
It's not just to me. Yes, friendship's super important, but I also feel like there needs to be, if there's a lack of respect, like if you lose respect for the person that you're with, then that can also tank a relationship.
That's true.
Because if you don't, like, you know,
Especially
there are
a
a
new
lot of ways
relationship.
you can, but over time, like, I don't like the way you handle shit. I don't like the way you know, you could lose respect for a person, and that will, you know, and then all of a sudden everything's out the window.
I've heard guys say men always act publicly, right? Like cheating would be the worst thing to happen to a man, even though we know men cheat. It's happened.
Yeah, but they don't want to think about.
They
their
don't want to think
woman
about
cheating.
it. But I don't think most men, if they've been in a long relationship, marriage, would they throw that away? I mean, would you? I don't know. Show a hand, fellas. Would you? Your wife?
Like they're gonna admit it. They're like me. Yeah, they're not gonna say that.
I mean, you throw your, hey kids, mommy gone. She out of here.
I mean, it really depends on where they are in their lives.
I was just saying that I think with the newer relationship, things are more. I think you can build up something. I don't know.
You can. I mean, it's all about what you value. Like, if you still go into that marriage feeling like you're missing out on some shit,
Right.
then you're gonna find a
one of those
way
dudes
to
like,
get
shit,
what you
this
think you're
happens to
missing
me.
out on.
This happens to me. I'm out of here.
I mean, everyone's got their boundaries, though. I mean, like,
gotta
everyone's
weigh it
boundaries
all
should be
out.
respected.
Gotta weigh it
But
all out.
everyone's boundaries should be respected. If you know where your significant other's boundaries are,
But I do know for you,
you know where my boundaries are.
Gina B's like,
I don't play.
you even squeeze somebody's cheeks, I'm out of here.
Done.
It's over.
Done. Well,
Lose my phone
only
number.
because I know what I can recover. I know what I can recover from, and nobody wants to be with me if I'm not. No one wants to be up in here if I don't.
You scare me a little bit, Gina B. Sometimes.
I'm telling you, it's a scary world.
Let me see. I want to read a couple other.
Yeah, men are less likely. They don't want to think about their woman taking it from the back with some rando.
Catherine Bowman, I'll tell you why. I don't want to say it.
Go ahead and say it.
I promised I wouldn't say anything that might sound confrontational.
Do you want to tell me and then
I'll tell you. You say it.
Okay.
Because the truth is, men value less sometimes from people they don't know. If a woman messes around, she really likes taking it.
Right.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
You say that.
What we're saying here,
I didn't say it.
what I'm saying, is that men value it less from some rando that they don't know.
Yeah, I think
And,
if a woman
and
messes
they
around,
feel like if women mess around, it's because she really likes
there's
it.
an emotional connect, and that's really at the heart of it.
We go back to that song that I like. What's that song? Do you know? Things I Miss at Home.
Absolutely.
Things I miss.
That Brian Courtney Wilson just came with a lot of
he's
wills.
he's bringing it.
I just thought, and here I am
Sexism and
thinking,
ego makes it tough
here
for
I
men
am
to
thinking he
believe it's
just
not
writes
as
a
women.
bunch of good gospel
He shared-
songs.
he shared
Brian
cake
Courtney Wilson, we
with.
may have to have you as a guest one day. We're gonna do a gospel
We need
segment.
to. No, we should. We should totally have it. Are
Since
you
I'm
in
changing the
Chicago,
direction-
Brian? Is he in Chicago?
He travels, but he is a resident of a different state.
Okay, but does he come here?
Taking
Yes.
from the that's the visual though. Okay, the visual is a lot for a guy, right? You're imagining your woman getting just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Nobody wants to think
You walk
about
in the
that
house
shit.
like, oh my God, what is that inside of her?
Right. Oh, the best man.
Look.
Oh yeah, the kiss on the forehead, right? Or was he? So there were visuals though. Remember he had those visuals in Best Man. This is what we're talking about. I could have made that worse, Brian, but I didn't.
You could have.
Oh, look who's here!
Khalid Hankins. Look, everybody, we want to thank you for joining the show.
Thank you so much.
Just to remind everybody, shameless plug.
Vote.
If you're in the Chicagoland area, Chris Levy's running for alderman in the 5th Ward.
He's your dude.
Chris45th.com. You can check it out. But look, thank you all for joining. I don't know if I'll be back next week. I've been advised to stay away from the Kris the Critic show. But that was pretty
You'll be here in
tame.
spirit, though.
Thank you, Kingdom. I think our producer Kingdom thinks I did. I think I just have to be careful in the subject matter I choose. As long as I don't talk about them, or them, I think I'm good.
You are.
But look, next
Mike Bratton, hey.
Next on, you're up next, right? Why don't you plug?
I'm up next. Okay,
Gina,
so up
Gina
next.
B's still here.
All right, so I will be sitting in for Brian Foster a couple weeks out of the month in the zone. He's got some things he's taking care of, and so Chantel and I will be taking over in the zone. And today we're talking about quiet quitting, but women, do you quiet quit relationships? And what does that look like?
Anyway, check that out if you're on Facebook on In the Zone.
Stay here. Oh, don't stay here. But
Real quick
go there.
before we sign off, Gina B, you must wear your button next time, or you'll be
I
fined.
don't want to have like holes in my
You'll be
shit.
fined.
Yeah, okay. I will wear my button.
It is what it is.
I know. I'm happy to have this button. I
Thank
didn't
you all
have
for joining
one.
the Kris the Critic show. I probably will come back next week.
Is this
I
like
like it.
giving my
I like
donation?
being in the chair. Leave some comments. We do go back and check them later. Travel safe wherever you are.
Please do. Be
Peace
careful.
and love. Kris the Critic and Gina B. We out of here. Thanks for joining.
I'm happy to have a button. Is this what I got for my donation?
That's it.